Tanya June Moore. This is the silver anniversary edition of the Sedona International Film Festival. We want to thank our sponsors, Digitech, Blackmagic Design, and the Sedona Rouge for being sponsors of the Sedona Media Room here. And I have another filmmaker that you guys might recognize. Tommy Stovall, you're a local. You've had a lot of movies in the festival over the years. Room for Rent. Holy woly. Jeez. How did it go on opening the festival? How did it feel to have 700 people in the seats? Tell me about it.
It was very exciting. We were nervous because it's not your typical Sedona International Film Festival film, but they were kind enough to screen it on opening night, and we had our cast there, and they were all excited, and we got a lot of positive feedback, and I think it played well with the audience, and it's an uncomfortable film to watch, but it's also very funny, and people laughed, and they reacted in the right places, so that was fun to see.
So yeah, this is quite different than the things that you've put out before.
Yes.
It's very dark, but it's also not Sedona at all.
Right.
So
right.
Were you worried about putting that out to the audience here, considering that everything else you've done has been kind of Sedona-esque?
Yeah, I was worried, of course, but I also, we had screened it with the Sedona audience for a test screening, and we got a lot of great reactions there, from people who go to the festival all the time. So that was a little, that was a little preview of what I thought we could expect, and I was really interested to see how people would react, and I'm pleased overall. So,
yeah, I think you've brought something new. And Lynn Shay, what a score!
Yes.
How did you feel about that performance and her?
I think Lynn is brilliant in the performance. She was the first one I thought about when I read the script, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to really showcase her talent. And because she's an actress who really, even if it's the smallest role, she takes it and she runs with it and she puts her own twist on it. And so during the filmmaking, I was excited to see what she would come up with, for this character. And so that was a fun process. And I think it really, especially for her fans, I think it's a great opportunity for them to see her in a leading part. We don't often get to see her in a leading role like this. She carries the entire film, so I think her fans are going to be very excited to see that as well. And she's just brilliant in it. She's amazing.
Well, she really embodied this character who has completely went off the deep end in her own mind.
Yes.
And we were talking before the cameras rolled about just her costuming, which was brilliant. And you were saying that there was quite a bit around those costume choices, right?
Yes, her costumes, there's a whole costume arc in the film. You talk about the character arc, there's a costume arc, her clothing. Because she starts out as this very sheltered, simple woman who hasn't been exposed to the outside world a lot. She's sort of been a prisoner in her own home, most of her life, and then her husband dies, and so she's kind of set free, and she starts to explore the outside world a bit, and she has this. She reads romance novels, and so she lives in this fantasy world with these romance novels, and she starts trying to mimic the women in the romance novels, which was that was her idea, and I thought that was a brilliant idea.
Yes.
And so she and the costume designer worked a long time on coming up with what clothing she was going to wear in the film, and you can see, the clothing sort of mirrors her evolution as a character in the film.
Yes, so. I agree. And I think we have a trailer for this. Yes?
Okay.
Great.
But I am becoming more proactive. You're looking for a room?
Yeah, just got to town. Looking for a place to stay for a while.
Oh. I know that place. It's already been rented. By someone long-term, in fact. They probably just forgot to take this back. But guess what?
What?
Today's your lucky day. Because I have a room that has just become available.
Do you?
Would you like to see it?
Sure. Why not?
Oh. I'm Joyce.
Bob.
That is a very nice name.
The longing in her eyes.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a clip where she meets Bob. In the film, she turns her house into a B&B, and she finds Bob in the library by circumstance and offers him a room, and he becomes a tenant of hers, and that's when things get really interesting.
Yeah,
So,
things get a little chaotic, and it's
Yeah.
a good chaos. It's quite a dark comedy, and it was nice to be in the theater and hearing people laugh at all the right places.
yes, it was, because I love, my favorite kind of comedy is the comedy that comes through in serious situations, dramatic situations, and so that was nice to see that people reacted where we were hoping they would.
Yes, and I think you've done a really good job of putting this one together. And how did it feel to get accepted into the festival and do opening night?
It was great. It was exciting. We had a great large audience, and which was very nice. And it's always fun to play the festival here. All of our films have played here, so.
And this is your fifth?
This was our fourth film.
Fourth.
Yeah, our fourth film. Yeah, we started out with Hate Crime back in 2005, which was Pat Schweiss's first festival, and so we've been around ever since.
You've been a pretty steady presence here, and we really appreciate it. Are
Thank
you
you.
planning on what's the distribution going to be for this one?
Distribution, we have it's been picked up for distribution, and it'll be released in May, on May 7th worldwide. We're going to have a theatrical run in LA on March 3rd, or not in March, May 3rd, just before the worldwide release, and it'll play there for a week, and it'll be available everywhere after that. So.
How exciting! I'm so happy for you. And
Thank you.
This is a good film, and I think that people who like dark comedy will really enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks.
And where can they find you online so they can do their own research?
We have a website for the film. It's roomforrentthemovie.com, so
Okay.
check that out.
Yes.
And we'll post updates and link to our Facebook page and Twitter and all that. And
And I love
So,
that
yeah.
you use a lot of locals. Thank you for
we
that.
did.
It was
yes.
good.
Well, thank you for your participation.
Well, you didn't tell
play
me
a great
that I was
role.
going to be in the opening, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I think it's definitely a worthy film for people to see and to see your growth process. And I heard that a lot in feedback out and about. Just like, yeah, they've really, they're clipping right along, doing some really great stuff. And I think that's really positive feedback for you as a filmmaker.
Well, great. That's great to hear, because this is we try to do different kinds of films. We don't. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. So I like all kinds of genres, and we put we try, a little bit of everything. So.
Well, this one had definitely a different look to it than the other ones that I had seen. This had a totally different feeling. It definitely made my stomach crawl a little bit. And if you can make me uncomfortable in the seat, I know that there's something good going on.
Yes.
Right? I was really uncomfortable. I really was like, ugh, she's making me really cringe.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's a really good thing, I think. So congratulations. I really want this to be a success for you, and I think it will
Thank
be.
you.
And I love that you're making films right here in our beautiful little city of Sedona.
Yes, what better place?
What better place to make films than here? And we'll catch you on the next round of the 25th Silver Anniversary of the Sedona International Film Festival.